Good. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, James E. Smith, 313th Infantry, 79th Infantry Division. I joined the 79th Division D-Day +3 on Normandy. The 79th Infantry Division was involved in 5 European campaigns. It was Normandy, Rhineland, Central Europe, Alsace-Lorraine, and northern France. Those were the 5 combat encounters. We landed on a D+3. We went all the way through Germany, France, Holland, Belgium, and into Czechoslovakia, where we met up with the Russians during the end of the war. We had a good history. We lost a lot of men. Fortunately, I came back. So.
All right. Well, why did you join the service, or were you drafted, and how old were you?
Yeah, okay. I was drafted in the service when I was 18 years old.
What were you doing before you joined the service?
I was a senior in high school.
What branch of the service were you in?
Infantry.
How did your parents feel about you joining the service?
They had nothing against joining the service.
Where did you do your basic training?
Basic training. Fort McClellan, Alabama. A place I will never forget. Just a little sideline. When I first landed there, we were in tar paper shacks in Alabama, and I'll never forget the first sergeant, Sergeant Emmett Clayton, and his first words to us that when I call roll call, I want to hear that screen door slam once. In other words, get your butts out there and make up for roll call. I spent 17 weeks at basic training, doing all the basics, including 37mm anti-tank training.
Was there a culture shock on your part from meeting people all over the country while you went to basic training?
No, not really. It was no shock to me. It was nice to meet new people.
Any other interesting stories from basic training?
No, the food was lousy. And the obstacle course was tough.
What was your military occupational specialty?
Rifleman, known as 745.
In what zone of combat did you see action?
European Theater of Operation, ETO.
Did you think that one theater was more important than the other?
Not at the time, no. Both very important.
Did you have to conjure hatred of the Germans or Japanese, or did the hate come naturally?
I didn't hate the people per se. I didn't like Hitler, I didn't like Goring, and I did not like Goebbels, the 3 prime people for WW2.
Do you think the war in the Pacific was a racist one on both sides?
I don't think so, no.
Tell us about your combat experiences. Where did you see action?
I saw action from day one, D+3, from Omaha Beach all the way through. Some of the highlights. We, as 79th Infantry Division, was part of the assault with General Patton on the breakthrough into France and Germany. From there we went over to the British 7th Army, and we made the amphibious landing for the British 7th Army for Dusseldorf and Dortmund in Germany. From there we went down through the Rhineland, down through the Ruhr Valley, the industrial part of Germany. From there we settled in for Bavaria, down through Bavaria, and down into Czechoslovakia, where we ended the war.
Tell us about your most dangerous experiences in combat.
Well, it's difficult to say. Every day was a dangerous day. Every day the sergeant would say, and the call we all hated was, "All right, let's move out." So that meant move on.
Yeah. Did you feel that your superior officers were trustworthy, knowledgeable, and inspiring?
Absolutely, the best.
Did you?
A lot of my people that I trained with and worked with were what we call regular Army. They were regular Army and then into the division.
Did you ever refuse to obey an order?
Only once. We were, this was down at basic training. We were on bivouac, and we were camped on a hill in tents, a cold and wet, rotten, rainy day, and the chow call came, and the sergeant, this is a regular soldier, Army soldier, says, "Smith, get your rifle or you don't eat." I said, "Okay," so I don't eat.
Did you have any contact with SS troops?
Yes.
What was that like?
The SS troops were always on the front line. They were very tough, very well trained, and very disciplined. They were good soldiers.
No prisoners? The SS troops?
Did we take any?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How did the people of Italy, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, England, and Germany treat you?
They always welcomed us. The people in France were most helpful to us. As you captured a town, the townspeople would come out and they would give you wine, and in France, mostly a raw egg. And it was up to you. They wanted you punch a hole in the egg, and you were to, as a gift, to suck the egg out of the egg shell. I couldn't do it, so that was by the wayside. But they were helpful to us, particularly what we call the FFI. That was the Free French of the Interior. They were the internal combat readiness people for welcoming the invasion, and they were very informative about positions, where the Germans were, where the artillery was, and what was happening inland.
Are there any misconceptions that the American public has about World War II, or was it like Band of Brothers?
Yes, I would say it was just like the Band of Brothers. I think that really told the true story of the what we call the mudslinger or the infantryman, the hole digger.
How would you sum up the efforts of the Allies in World War II, or your own efforts?
They were helpful. Of course, we couldn't have done it without them. Particularly England. England was a very strong force.
Do you still carry any animosity towards your old adversaries?
No.
None at all. Also, are there any medals that you received?
Yes, I have, yeah. You want me to name them?
Sure.
Okay, just hold off. First of all, we have the Bronze Star awarded to the 313th Infantry, as well as the Good Conduct Medal, the European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, the Army of Occupational Medal, the National Defense Medal, and the Combat Infantry Badge, the Honorable Service lapel button, and we have the French Croix de Guerre with a palm. In addition to the European, African, Eastern Campaign, we have 4 Bronze Stars attached to it. That means that there was 4 campaigns, but we were awarded the 5th one after the war, which was Alsace-Lorraine.
Oh, did you have any injuries while in battle?
No wounds, but what I did, I had a serious back injury, which laid me up for 3 weeks. Okay? After the war ended, around April 13th, April 14th, we were allowed to take what they called then a furlough. So I was given the chance to take a furlough to Switzerland, a 10-day furlough at the close of the war. And I said, really, this is great. So I knew what was happening. They were giving us the furlough because we were getting ready as a division to go to China in training for the Pacific campaign. But on the way home from Switzerland, the newspaper on the bus with the sign, the reading, Japan capitulates, and the war was over. So we were there ready to go home, which we did.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for your time.
Okay.